Retro Rob plays everything.
Hey, Rob here, and welcome to another haul video. This time it is small but fierce. I'm going to a festival this weekend called St. Martin's Fair, and that is like a huge flea market, so I know I'm going to buy a bunch of video game stuff because I'll just got my paycheck, so I'm just going to blow it. No, I'm not. I got a house payment to make, but I am going to blow some of it on video games. Every year I do quite a bit of purchasing there, so I know I want to get everything cleared out. Also, the place is kind of a mess in the background. We're going to Mad with Power Fest. I'll be there with Guys, Games, and Beer this weekend. On Saturday, I'll put a link down below to Mad with Power Fest, and we're going to be bringing a whole bunch of retro games. So it's actually a heavy metal. It's a small venue heavy metal concert with about 5-6 bands, actually 6 bands, including some of my favorites. So I'm not going to get into that too much, but I am going to link that down below. But anyway, we're going to be there with some retro gaming, and there's going to be some retro arcade games. So we're mixing metal with classic video gaming. What could be better, right? Anyway, so I'm cleaning things up and getting ready for those two events. So pardon me, I'm a little bit right now. All right, let's start with something I got off of eBay by mistake. It was mislisted, actually. This was listed as 2 Atari Power Sticks. It is not. These were made by the Amiga company back before Commodore bought them. Sorry. There we go. We'll do it this way. These are great joysticks that Amiga made, and they were made for the Atari 2600 and a bunch of other platforms at that time. But it wasn't enough really to generate the computer that they wanted, so they ended up being bought out by Commodore. But anyway, nonetheless, this was advertised as 2 Atari Power Sticks, which I thought they were. I didn't look at the box because it said the box was mostly destroyed, so I didn't even bother looking real close at the box, but I did look at the pictures, and these things look great. Well, it didn't show that they were connected in the pictures. It was just basically the 2 at the end. So, unfortunately, I don't need them. Now, I could hack them up. I could turn them into 2 Atari 2600 controllers, but they would definitely not be authentic at that point. I'd have put a fake end on it. And number 2, these are fairly rare for the TI-99 which is the platform this is for. And I don't want to destroy them for somebody who might want them for that platform. And I'm not going to collect for that platform, so if you are interested in it, drop me a line. I'll sell it to you for what I got into it, which is about $25. So I can take care of you. I'd rather go to somebody who's actually going to use them than it sit on a dusty shelf. All right, so other things that I got. This is a Steel Series. I think this is the M100. You will note that I already have a Steel Series mouse that I use regularly. This is the higher end one with a little digital thing on the end. I'm trying to remember what the model is. But anyway, this one's for my laptop. I know I've mentioned in other videos that I've been kind of playing with cheap mice, and eventually I just got sick of it. There's almost always something wrong with a cheap mouse that you don't like. I mean, the last one that I got, and I've got a review on it, actually was really pretty good, but it just, when you're using a good mouse all the time, it's really hard to go back to a crappy one. It's just the way it is. I mean, controllers are the same way. So I got that one. It was actually like really inexpensive. I think it was like $30, so I'm not going to complain about that at all. All right, so next on the list we've got Holy Diver, which I picked up for $30 off of eBay. Holy Diver is a side-scrolling action game, roughly based on Ronnie James Dio's album of the same name. That said, it is not an official product of that, and indeed, this is not an official product because it was, never released in the U.S., just in Japan. This one's been converted to English. And it's quite good, though. It's a really good platformer. I'm really enjoying it. I've only got about 30 minutes into it, but still, good time. I really like it. This one we're going to be bringing to Mad with Power Fest and allowing people to try it out. So if you happen to be there, you can try that one out. Next, we've got Stampede. This was a trade with Ryan from the Guys, Games, and Beer podcast. I don't know why I didn't have this game. It was actually really popular in its day. You're a cowboy rustling steer. All right, that doesn't sound that exciting. This one is. This one is Dragonfire by good old Magic. And Magic was a great company. I mean, it made some of my favorite games. Cosmic Arc, it made Atlantis. I mean, it just a great game company. And Dragonfire, basically the first level of it, or the first part of it, you spend dodging fireballs being hurled at you from a dragon, or by a dragon. Well, from a dragon, because he breathes fire. But anyway, you dodge the fireballs, then you get into his lair and you steal all of his treasure, and that's scattered all over the screen, and then you try to escape. And it's really a lot of fun. I love collect 'em up games, and this is one of the earliest examples of a collect 'em up game. Really good game, so I'm glad to have that one. Thanks for that one. All right, let's continue. Okay, got this manual for the PS2 right here. Very lovely. Came with the disc. Actually, there's another disc in here. I was going to check and see what it was. Wasn't 100% sure. I have no PS2 manuals, so, you know, it's okay to have. If I ever get a box, it's just the online startup disc. Okay. If I ever get an advertisement in here for an Excalibur, man, I wish I had this. Excalibur handheld pitfall game. What are the chances of that? That's crazy. That thing looks like crap. I gotta find that. Anyway, I don't have a lot of these, so if I ever get a box, then I'll get a complete set, which is, you know, useful. Next, we have Duel Masters for the PS2. Another one I haven't seen in the wild. It's a card game, though. I'm not a big, huge fan of card games at all, so no manual. But, you know, anytime I see something that isn't a frickin' sports game, I grab it. Splashdown, Rides Gone Wild. I thought it might be like some kind of theme park game, but actually it's it's like a racing game, so I'm kind of excited to check that one out. And I like the art style. Look at the graphical style on that. If that is anything to do with the actual game itself, which, you know, by the PS2, most of them were at least close. Should be pretty good. Now, finally, I've got the big thing that came in through the mail. I ordered this months ago, and I'm just gonna unplug this sucker right here, and it is the Armiga. I will be doing a video dedicated to this in the future, and I got the version with the floppy drive in it. This, of course, is they don't want you to say it's Android based. There is like an Android side to this, but it boots off of a disk that boots into the Amiga OS. So it's Amiga, it's Android type hardware paired to an Amiga operating system. So you can expect that kind of performance out of it. Of course, it's scaled to the Amiga, so this will run Amiga 500 programs or Amiga 1200 stuff. The disk drive itself, it will not read protected disks. So if you've got like a copy protected disk, it's just not interested in that. It's not going to read it. It also doesn't read directly off here. So if you wanted to boot off of this, no, that doesn't happen. What it does is it reads the disk in, turns them into an ADF, and then you run it off of the storage here. And the storage, of course, is a little SD card in the back. I've already made a backup of that because I know something horrible is going to happen to it while I'm copying. Anyway, interesting little machine. It actually has an Amiga. It's a licensed Amiga product that actually has a license. I'm covering up right here. So that is kind of a crazy device. I'm kind of excited to play with it. It also came with like a really crappy NES controller right here. I mean, it's functional. It's feng shui. It's functional, but not great. So that is pretty much everything I have picked up recently. Looking forward to going to St. Martin's Fair and picking up a bunch of other stuff. There's a lot of stuff I'm on the lookout for, and hopefully they'll have it. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this, do me a big old favor, give me a thumbs up and subscribe for more. See you in a couple days.
Retro Rocks Gaming Videos.